Hello all, and welcome to a post-work beer review. It is hot, sticky, and for some reason, internet thermometer reads 73 degrees. It is not 73 degrees. I mean, look at me. It's 10 o'clock at night. I have a sheen of sweat on me. I really should probably turn on my fan. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing a beer review. What am I going to dub this beer review? Uh, the dragon fruit review. So my landlady has a dragon fruit plant, and it is having a bumper crop this year. I love dragon fruit. It's my second most favorite fruit after pomegranate. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy this uh, after I do this review. Probably with a little cheese because uh, you know the old dictum um, about fruit and cheese. That's why I need to balance out my fruit with cheese. If you don't know what that dictum is, well, that's about as cloaked as I'm going to get for you. So what are we reviewing tonight? Well, it's a work night, so nothing too heavy. Going with something from Aloha Beer. This is a local beer company. As you know, despite the fact that it doesn't get any views whatsoever, I really enjoy and focus on doing beers made here in Hawaii. And Aloha Beer, they, they're one that I don't actually know all that much about. I know they're brewed in Honolulu. Let's see here. Oh, 6/21/24. Oh my god, this is hella fresh. Hella fresh. 6/21/24. Huh. I think this is about one of the freshest beers I've ever gotten. It is literally only 7/8/24 right now. So this beer is not even a month old. It's like 3 weeks old. So yeah, I'm kind of stoked now. A little bit. I mean, I did go and do a sampler of this a couple days ago. So yeah, you know how it goes sometimes. Um, so they didn't have any verbiage on the label here, but they do on the website, so I'm going to go and read that off for you. Mellow Waves, 5.2 ABV, 5 IBU. This refreshing wit-style beer is brewed with candied orange peels. The subtle notes of orange combined with spice character from the yeast gives this wit an amazing finish, perfect for our Hawaiian spring weather. Yeah, so yeah. So Aloha Beer Company tends to go. Oh, Kaka'ako Brew Pub. Okay, so they're in Kaka'ako, along with Honolulu Beer Works. Kaka'ako is one of those places where there's a lot of brew things going on, which is kind of ironic because Kaka'ako kind of is. If you're, let me go and bring the camera back up here. Kaka'ako is one of those neighborhoods where it's like really super gentrified, high-end luxury apartments and kind of hipstery sort of businesses, and also just like massive homeless camps and urban decay and like empty warehouses. So, so like it's not a neighborhood to go for your first time at night if you get easily lost. So, and that goes for a lot of Honolulu neighborhoods, really. You'll find yourself in someplace really upscale to someplace kind of dangerous, like in an absolute heartbeat, just by like crossing an invisible line somewhere. But don't let me scare you with that. I mean, um, if you go during daytime, it's fine. If you make sure that you don't get lost, it's fine. You know, and it's pretty clear what's what when you're there. You know what I mean? So just keep your head about you. Okay, so let's just go and pour this one out already, because it's already like 5 minutes in, and I decided to yammer on for a little bit. So yeah, they specialize in a lot of Belgians, a lot of Germans, which is kind of good. They're not all IPAs like some breweries are trending towards. Pouring it into a tulip, of course. Yeah, so a nice yellow orange. very opalescent and cloudy, but I can see lots of carbonation beneath that cloudiness. And a thick, fluffy, white head. Redolent of Belgian yeast, phenolic funk, bubblegum, cloves, a bit of wheaten funk there. Yeah. Pretty funky, but also kind of sweet smelling. Huh. Odd. I can actually hear the carbonation going off. That's a first for me. You know, that sort of fizzy sound. Okay, onto the palate now, shall we? Yeah, very highly carbonated there. So the first thing that hits me about this beer is the sweetness. It is hella sweet for the style. In fact, I'm going to say it's kind of outside of the style by being this sweet. By no means is it cloying. It's more that a Belgian wit should have a level of crispness to this. That the amount of residual sugars is kind of impeding in a lot of ways. Okay, but going beyond that caveat, of course, you get those touches of banana and bubblegum. Hints of orange and apricot in the finish. Forgot to mention, very biting carbonation to the point where it's sort of obstructing the front a bit. In the mids, it takes on a very candied sort of aspect. In some ways, it feels almost more like I'm drinking a triple or a quad um, in flavor profile rather than a wit. Not so much in that it's heavy. It's not. It's still fairly light. It's still fairly refreshing on the palate. It's just so sweet, and it kind of just uh, influences all the other tasting notes. Very big bubblegum and clove in the top note. The banana really only shows up in the palate and it's kind of secondary. Yeah, that orange really shows up in the mids there. And also, you know, sort of a light, almost stone fruity character, kind of mixed in apricot peach like as it moves into the finish. Not really much in the way of hop presence, but of course, this is not a style that highlights hops at all. It's one that highlights Belgian yeasts. Now that the carbonation has calmed down a bit, definitely does seem a bit heavier than 5.2. You know, there's almost a slight chewiness to it, which is odd for the style. That said, I would say the sweetness never gets to a level of cloying. It doesn't come. It doesn't get to. It only goes to a level where I think it's not to style, but not to the point where it's making it unenjoyable for me. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I've kind of run out of things to say about this one. I mean, I'm quite happy to go and see a local beer that's canned and distributed that is a Belgian style. Um, it, there is starting to be like a real predominance of IPAs everywhere, and a lot of styles that I love are becoming quite hard to find, especially by local craft brewers. And so I'm quite happy with the Aloha Beer Company, you know, having a really diverse line. If not as well distributed as other local craft brewers, hopefully they get better distribution as time goes by. I mean, they kind of had a slow start, but I think they're really coming into their own now with some really interesting beers, you know, that aren't really stunty. They're interesting in that uh, they're exploring styles that have kind of fallen by the wayside a bit. You know, not in like we're pouring Fruit Loops instead of a beer sort of thing. Now that I say that, I realize that their IPA is called like Fruity Loops, but that's just kind of referring to the lupulin in the hops. You know, it's their IPA. But you get my drift. You know, I am really glad that that sort of let's put breakfast cereal inside overproofed beers. That was a fad that died out. Unfortunately, it seems like fads that I actually enjoy are more likely to die out than fads that I hate, like breakfast cereal and beer. I didn't even like breakfast cereal when I was a kid, honestly. Um, I ate it dry when I had it because um, I don't I don't know why it took so long for my family to figure out I was lactose intolerant. But anyways, you know, uh, dry cereal ain't that much fun. For me, a good breakfast is bacon and eggs. Well, not really. I actually hated eggs when I was a kid too. Um, I don't know. Nowadays, my ideal breakfast is like bacon, sausage, toast, and an omelet with lots of cheese. So yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling on. I'm tired. I want to eat this dragon fruit. Um, so let's just go and wrap it up now, shall we? Mellow Waves by Aloha Beer Company. Definitely go and give this one a shot if you like Belgian beers. Just kind of be forgiving for the fact that it's not quite to style. I think it's actually pretty solid once you get past the fact that it's like, wow, this doesn't really, this is not as dry as a wit should be. Um, you know, it doesn't really fit style, but it's still a great tasting beer. And that, folks, is your beer review for this work night. Cheers.